afternoon, Crafty peeps. So we're going to be working on our third Craftology box tutorial. Our first one was done on our Facebook group, Coffee Talk on Facebook, of course. Our second one I posted yesterday. This was our spooky haunted house. That is with our add-on kit. And I hope you all are loving these haunted houses. I think they're so stinking precious. So anyway, the collection that we are using is Haunted House by Carta. Now, in your kit, you should have some cards. You have a black one, a purple one, and a green one, okay? For this one, I'm going to use, you know what? I'm going to use a purple one. I thought I was going to use a black one. I changed my mind because I want her shoes to stand out, okay? I really want to send this to my niece or my nephew, or actually I'm going to send it to all three of them because I have 3 cards, so I think they'll love it. And the first thing I'm going to do is show you the printout. Okay, so I know I sent Janelle, you know, our JPEG of this little witch's shoes, and I think they're so stinking cute. This is from coloringpage.eu. And if not, and you want the JPEG, just message me and I will send it to you, or I'll probably just actually upload it to the page just in case. Now, this one, I sized it to 5 by 7, and so it makes 2 smaller little shoes, and that may fit on here. I'm not 100% sure because I'm thinking about these. Maybe if you had them like kooky on there, it may work. But I did do this full size, which is 8.5 by 11, or actually 8 by 10 is what they call it, which is photograph size. And this way I can use one of these little boots, okay? And that's what I think I'm going to do today. So first of all, I'm going to cut it out. And I'm going to go quiet here. I'm just going to fast forward this part. So y'all can just follow along with that. Okay, so now that we have this all cut out, we can try to figure out what paper we want to use for it. And I'm thinking for the bottom piece, I'm going to use, I had it here a minute ago. See how this dark spot on here, like you can't even really see any of that stuff in the background? I'm going to go ahead and use this, okay? And let me grab a pencil so that I can trace it. Okay, and another thing, let me grab my shoe again so I can kind of see where these little dots are so I can kind of punch some holes. So you can either punch a hole in here and then line it up, which let's see if that will work. Let's just, for giggles, let me get out my hole punch. Whoa, that was crazy. Okay. Ooh, it works. Okay. So I'm just going to do that. That way I know. punch those out. And then I'm going to draw my little circles. And I'm actually going to punch them out on here as well. Let me grab my little pokey tool. Wrong one. Okay. Okay, that looks cute so far. Then I'm also going to get out my black ink. And I know that if you don't have it, Tamara does sell some black ink in her store by Prima. And she may even have some of the Tim Holtz Distress Oxide. I'm not really sure. So I'm just going to fill some of this in and give it some depth and shadows. And also get my edges nice and dark. In fact, I see that's a little pointy there. Let me fix that. And I'm really going to get dark in here because that is the heel. So I want that to be the darkest. And along the bottom here, and I'm going to fill these in a little bit too as well. Now you have two choices. You could put like pearls on top of there if you have some in your stash, flat back pearls or anything you want. I don't think I have any, so I'm not going to concern myself with that. I'm going to save this because I never know when I'm going to want to use it. Okay, so for my boot, I decided that I wanted to use this paper right here. And let me see something. I'm going to see if I can find a longer strip, and maybe not. That's a bummer. Okay, well, that's okay. So I'm going to go to about 1 5/8. And I'm going to give you this measurement in a second. Oops, hold on. By 3 1/4. So 1 5/8 by 3 1/4. Okay. And then this time I'm going to go ahead and use my black ink again and just basically get my little edges right here. I'm not concerned about the bottom because I'm gluing this underneath the shoe. They're not going to see that. Okay. I mean, you have some choices. You could do the 3 different patterns, but I'm kind of liking the one full pattern right here. Let's see how it's looking so far. Let's get it on here. Do we want to have a color in the background? And we could. Let's see what we've got in this collection that would go really well in the background of this. Sorry, let me get out my scoreboard here. And it looks like it's dirty. I forgot to clean up my ink from the other day. That's okay. So this card, as we said, should be 5 by 7. So for my pattern paper underneath, let me see if that looks a little crazy. Maybe not that one. Hold on, guys. It's too matchy-matchy with the purple. Okay. So I'm going to cut it at 4 3/4. Maybe that even is kind of thin. Well, let's do it at, sorry, not 4 3/4. Yeah, sorry. 4 7/8. By 6 7/8. Gonna keep going down. There we go. Okay. So now I'm just going to cut this out and save the rest for something else. I always forget to cut this off. And again, I'm going to go ahead and distress it. You know what? I need to trim off just a tiny bit more. I always try to get rid of that hump. If I accidentally leave it on there, I try to get rid of it. Tell you what, this collection is just too cute. Just going to kind of round my corners here a little bit, blend it in there, make it look like some shadowing. Okay, get out my mat and see how this is looking so far. Oops, there's one thing I forgot. There's another hump on the side and I didn't see it until I put it up against the darkness. Let me fix that. So far, I think it's looking pretty cute. Just going to darken this up a little bit more. I really want some noticeable shading. So I'm going to get it really dark in there. Okay, now if you have some baker's twine or some black cording. You can basically put that in the shoe. And I'm not going to tie it because I want it to lie flat. So I'm basically going to use some of my washi tape and a little splash of glue here. To hold it down. I'm going to do it a little bit long because I might be able to get a bow in here. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Gonna stay there. Okay. So now it's looking pretty cute. I'm just gonna hold it taut, apply a little more glue, get out my, I'm holding it down and getting out my washi tape at the same time and taping it down. And get rid of this excess tape. Any of that tape that's hanging out, I'm getting rid of it. In a couple minutes, this glue is going to dry underneath there really nicely. I'm also going to go ahead and glue this down. I'm going to go down a little bit. I'm going to burnish it in. I still might even ink these edges a little bit. Oops, I went down a little too far. Got to be careful of that. It might show through your heel. But so far, it's looking adorable. Let me see if I have any pearls. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Well, I didn't find any, what you want to say, pearls. That's okay. I knew I didn't really have any. Actually, the ones I did have were pink. And that's not going to go with this theme here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out. Because since it's from us, I'm gonna love this boo from the crew here. I'm just making sure I cut this straight. I apologize if I'm taking too long, but cut that out there. Let me edge this up just a little bit more to make sure I don't have any parts from the other design on here. Let me see if this will work. Yeah, I kind of like that. That's cute. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and distress this. And I kind of like putting it at an angle too, so I'm going to do that. Okay. So for now, I think I'm pretty much done with my outside, except for what I'm going to use for my saying. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and attach it. Burnish it in there, and I'm not going to put my boot down just yet, but I do want to get the inside here. And I think I'm going to keep this part straight. I'm going to go a little bit around here again, even though it's on the paper. I'm okay with that. And then I'm going to do that at an angle. Come on now. Boo from the crew. Look, it's so cute. Okay. Now, I'm trying to think what I want on the front. Let me see if this kind of works here. Nope, but I do like this one where it says the witch. The witch is in. But it looks kind of small compared to the shoe. I don't think that's going to work either. Ah! Let's see, we could use a creepy house in the background. Let's see what we've got for that. Actually, I have the one that's already cut for us. Nah, thinking no. Okay, so the sticker I was using didn't work. So I went ahead and used one of my cut-aparts, okay, for my tags. And this one says, "Such a beautiful night." And I'm going to go ahead and kind of put this a little bit. Maybe I won't put it at an angle. I think I'll just keep it that way. I just put it on some black cardstock and cut around that. Don't know why I could get that right. I guess it was just that pattern didn't really work for what I was trying to do. Anyway, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to hold it up a little bit so I can make sure I've got it in there straight. I'm going to burnish it in. Make sure no edges are coming up. And then I just got a little bit more of the black string and I tied a little knot. And I'm just going to, this glue dries clear. So I'm just going to put a little splotch there, big enough so that it will stay. And I'm going to let that dry. Did this not turn out too cute? I'm telling you. Let me see. I have some distress stickles. I couldn't find any. think so. I could use, sorry, not distress stickles, just stickles. This one's called Black Diamond. And maybe I can use that for my pearls and cover that up. Oh, that works. Perfect. I'm liking that. Then I'm just going to set this aside to dry. And then we'll start on our next card. So I'm going to be right back. And like I said, don't worry about it being white. It's going to dry clear. But if you're really worried about it, you can probably take like a little pokey tool or something, or a Q-tip, and wipe off some of that excess if you're that worried about it. So, I mean, I've got a little bit on that side there, but I'm not worried about it. And then on the inside, it says "Boo from the crew." Oh my gosh, my niece and nephew are going to love this. So, I hope you all will join me for the next card.